Warning: the following podcast has been rated listener R due to strong language, violent situations, drug references, sexual innuendos, and who knows what else. Listener discretion is advised. With that being said, hang on, sugar tits, because we're about to get wobbled.
What is going on, guys? It's Clayton Wobble Elliott back with the Let's Get Wobbled podcast. This is episode 3, and let me tell you guys, this is a special fucking episode. This episode is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to get it started. So without further ado, I'm going to I can't even fucking talk. You're worried about fucking up, and I'm fucking up. I'm going to introduce you to one of the best friends that I've ever made throughout my entire life. From working just a summer experience. It was a job that I needed over the summer. You will fucking get into it in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Jonathan. What's going on, buddy?
What's up? How's it going?
It's going great, bud. So let's just get this whole fucking ball rolling and let's get this episode started because I don't want to spoil it. It's driving me crazy, and I just want to tell everybody how we met.
Yeah. So I am Jonathan. Like Clayton said, I'm one of his best friends, and he's one of my best friends for sure. So, I mean, like he just said, we work at the same place together, and we met years, I don't even know how many years ago.
Let's see, I was in college from 16 to 18, and I had my summer practicum in 17. So you and I met in 2017.
So that's what, 7 years?
Yeah, 7 years now.
That is insane.
And should have known each other a lot earlier.
A lot earlier, if we, because the way we found out how, like, everything just went together. It's nuts. We'll get into it.
So let's go ahead and get started. So
yeah, let's do it.
In 2017, like I said, I was in college, but I needed credit hours with an actual construction company. Those of you guys who have been listening before know that I got my associates in construction management. So I needed hours with an actual construction company. Hence, where I met Jonathan at Jim Schultes Construction. So walk everybody through. You knowing me now, this is hilarious. I've always loved this story. Even it doesn't matter who fucking tells it, but I love the story. So walk everybody through. I pull up on the job site. I talk to Jim. He's like, hey, we're going to get you started on the Monday, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Here's the job site I need you to show up at. So go ahead and tell everybody what happened the first day that you and Kevin, and Matt was there?
Matt was there,
Okay,
yes.
So go ahead and tell everybody about how the first interaction goes.
So how it started, so me and my wife went on vacation. I can't remember where, but then I got back from vacation, and I always carpooled with one of the guys that worked with us. And I just meet him at his house, whatever, then go to the job site. And as we were pulling into this job site, they're like, oh, by the way, Jim hired a new guy. I was like, you gotta be shit. And, you know, with every job, when they say they hire new people, you don't know what to expect. You don't know anything about
And this is
guys.
a very small crew. We ran a crew of 4 plus Jim.
Yes, 4
So,
plus
I mean,
the
it's
boss.
it's a very small company in
Yes.
Southeast Ohio. But you hire a new guy, and especially if the new guy doesn't click, especially in that small of a group, it makes for a horrible job.
Because before he started, I worked there for, I don't know, 3 years, 2 years, 2 or 3 years maybe, I think.
Before? Okay.
I think so. So I knew the boss really well. I knew the other guys that I worked with. Actually, one of the other guys I worked with, Matt, he was my friend since high school, way before high school, actually. But anyways, so we pulled up into the job site, and they told me that Jim hired a new guy. And I was like, wow, whatever. All right, we'll see how it goes. Well, Clayton over here gets out of the car. I was like, is that him? And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay. And I was looking at his tattoos. He had a couple of tattoos on his forearms. And Kevin's like, yeah, I think he's like a really big Christian dude. He must go to church every Sunday.
So at the time I was riding, I didn't have it wasn't the Bonneville yet, but I had
Impala.
Yeah, the Chevy
white,
Impala.
The white
Chevy,
Impala.
The white Chevy Impala, and it had Jesus fish sticker in the back glass. And so I had it, and then on my forearms, I have 2 scriptures on my forearms. And I used to go to church very heavily. I don't anymore, and I believe in my own beliefs. I believe in God, but it's I don't believe I have to go to church every Sunday to believe, and it's a huge. It'll be a whole nother episode there. But I was very Christian following, but I still have my personality. So
we seen them tattoos, and I was like, well, I don't think he's gonna fit in because the guy that we work with, he don't care about anything he says. He doesn't care about who's around. He's the biggest potty mouth you'll ever meet in your life. So later on down the road and stuff, and we were building a building. It was a little pole. It was a garage.
Yeah, it was a garage.
It was a metal. It was all metal and everything. So, and the roof pitch was like a 10 pitch. It was super super steep. And I remember Clayton being on the ground for something, and we heard him say "fuck."
I can't remember if I was cutting tin.
It was,
or if I was cutting some kind of board and I fucked up.
That's what it was.
I knew because Jim told me, he's like, that's not right. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure you told me right. And he's like, no, that's not right.
And
he's like, we don't have any extra either. It's like, oh fuck.
He said, oh fuck, and me and the other guy looked at each other like, what the hell? Like, no way he just said that. Because we just, how with the Bible verses and stuff, we thought he was like, I don't want to sound like mean or anything, but we just thought you were...
People who are extreme followers don't like to cuss.
Right, yes, exactly.
But that's not me. It never had been me. I like I said, I believe in my own beliefs, and I believe that you don't have to go to church every Sunday, and you can still sin while following Jesus Christ. Nobody's ever perfect.
Right.
So, I mean, I just always lived by that philosophy, and working construction or as an auto mechanic, those things I feel like are the same. People are going to cuss. It just happens.
Exactly. I mean, if you mess up, if you hurt yourself, you're going to cuss.
Right.
I don't care who you are, but that's how that all started. And like just after that, we
all started making fun of each other.
Yes,
we started laughing and joking.
That was every day.
Kev's probably one of the nicest people I've met.
He is.
And he doesn't look that way. He looks like he has a super rough exterior. He's been working for fucking 30 fucking years. He chain smokes fucking cigarettes, puts them out on his tape measure, and has a special pouch for his tape measure and his cigarette.
This man smokes cigarettes every day like a chimney, but he does not drink a drop of alcohol.
Yeah.
And that really surprised me out of him. But when you met him, he had his mullet.
Yeah, Kev had the mullet
He had
going.
his beard going,
Yeah.
and then, did he still have his mullet after you left, or no? I don't.
No, he got a haircut there
I think
shortly after I started, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he got it cut really short because he was losing all that hair because he's not older.
Right.
I mean, he's the same age as my dad, which is, I think he's like 49, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah. That's how it was, but that's how I first met Clayton. And I didn't know anything about him. And then, like, when we get on more with this story, we'll tell you guys how.
Right. So we built the garage, and I keep talking to you about this, and we can never seem to get the story straight because I try to figure out what projects I was on and that we did. Because another funny part to this whole fucking story is if anybody knows anything about construction, for a professional company, anytime you dig a fucking hole, whether it's with a shovel, whether it's with a backhoe, whether you're looking for a fucking earthworm in the dirt, you're supposed to call Oops, which is a company that comes out and they mark the lines for you, so that way you know where to dig, where not to dig, what's under the ground. And we never did. Small companies like that, you just fucking don't. And every job that I was on, from the start of my fucking practicum to the end of it, which was approximately 3 to 4 months, somewhere in there. Every fucking job that we were on for 3 to 4 months, I was in charge of digging the holes because I was the new guy, and my boss painted a circle in the ground, which meant, hey, dig here, and told me how far to dig. I would dig, we'd hit a fucking line every time. Let's go. The first hole that I dug was the copper gas tube.
So that day we figured out why the company is called Oops. Because when he hit the line, he was like, oops. Well, the thing about it is he was digging, and he just kept digging. And he didn't realize that he actually hit the line until he finally realized, and then everybody came over there and looked at the line, and it was mangled to hell.
I can't remember. The gas wasn't on, though, was it?
It had to have been.
I don't remember smelling it. Because that rotten egg smell.
Yeah, it was I think it was propane. And you would have smelt that propane.
But I know I kept digging. I just kept going. I wasn't looking in the hole because I knew I had to get below the frost freeze line.
Right.
So I was like, ain't no sense in looking. I know I'm not that far yet. So I just kept fucking going and kept fucking going. And by the time I looked down, I saw this little fucking piece of copper tube coming out. And I was like, hey, Jim, something's wrong over here, I think. Oops. And there's a piece of copper tube that is fucking mangled.
It did seem like every time you dug a hole.
It was.
Like,
I
no
think
shit. We're not exaggerating. He hit a line every time.
The only job I didn't hit anything on was the pavilion that we built, and the holes were already dug for. I think the holes were dug for that, weren't they?
What pavilion?
Over here in Summerfield, or not Summerfield, Sayersville, down below.
Oh, over, by B&M Muffler?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right, yeah.
I don't know if they dug the holes. I didn't dig the holes for that. We either used the skid steer or something.
It was probably skid steer because he started using equipment about that time, I imagine.
Because I knew what was left of that, we pulled the posts out, and they still had concrete on them. So I don't know if we used the original holes.
I think we did, actually.
We may have.
Because all he wanted to do was just a new pavilion. He didn't want it any bigger.
Yeah, the pad was still there. We reused the pad.
Yep. Yeah, you're right there.
Speaking of which, that's the first time that I've ever hung trusses that way. I don't know if you remember how we hung those trusses. But
we made the V-brace with the...
Yeah, you make the V-brace and you flip them up. I've never done that. Any other time we fucking wrestled them fucking
Because
things
every other time they've been bigger trusses.
That's true.
You can only handle,
small trusses like
yes,
that. Makes
yes.
sense.
Yeah, because at the first building we built, it had attic space.
Yep. Sure
So
did.
that's why it was like that.
That's the first time I've ever seen... anytime we ever worked with metal roof, whether it was in school or whatever we didn't have anything to put on the roofs.
Right. Oh,
you guys had the piece of carpet.
The carpet, yes.
Yeah, with the hooks over the end of it.
Actually, over at that building, we didn't have the carpet. Or actually, we probably did, but I don't
think we did, and I want you to tell the story now.
I never liked using the carpet because it was just so janky, and it scared the shit out of me. I don't know why, but it did. But how we did this is I had my harness on.
This is not OSHA approved.
No.
Which I learned very shortly after taking my OSHA classes. Like, man, we didn't do anything OSHA approved over there.
Clayton was on the ground with the harness on. He had the rope tied to him, and the rope up to me.
Had my harness on backwards, so the hook was in the front of
Yes, it was in the front of you. It's because you're dead weight down there, and I'm on the roof on the other side screwing metal, and the only thing that is keeping me from falling is Clayton.
Is me on the ground. I was the anchor, keeping you from falling off the roof.
I mean, we got through it, but it was
man.
I did some sketchy stuff.
And that was funny because I didn't take my OSHA cert until after I got done with that practicum. So we were sitting in class one time, and they're talking about these OSHA violations, and you need to be tied off after 6 feet. And I'm like,
yeah, if you're on a 6-foot step ladder, you got to be tied off.
I'm like, you're shitting me. You're on a piece of scaffolding, and you got to be tied off.
Yep.
But the way we did shit, I mean, I would say, in my professional opinion, Jim started complying with OSHA compliance after I left. So there is no reason to go after this guy. I'm sure he's very OSHA compliant now. But while I was there, we were not OSHA compliant at all.
Definitely not. I mean, if it got the job done, it got the job done. Is the way you look at it.
We did quite a few projects together.
Oh yeah, we built another big pole barn. Actually, I was on vacation then.
Yeah. Yep.
Remember, it was just you, Matt, and Kev.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was actually a big pole barn. It was tall too. It was 14 foot or something. But when you guys were racing.
Yeah.
Hammering in the header boards and stuff like that.
That was hilarious. Because we thought, like, it's me and Matt. And Matt's a little bit older than me, but I'm like, we can smoke this fucking guy. Hanging up these header boards.
Yeah.
And we were wrong. Kev smoked the fuck out of us.
And then come to find out, if you missed a nail, obviously it's going to leave a hammer print on the wood and stuff like that. Well, they didn't know that. Or they didn't know that the top of the building, they were putting the see-through panel.
I've never seen any see-through panel other than on that building, and it's only like a foot down.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
think
far.
I think it's only
So
it's 2 feet, I think.
It might be.
It's something like that.
When I worked for Bucket Disposal, I picked up their trash, so I would see it every time.
Oh,
that
that's
I would
right.
go
No,
through.
so you're probably right then. But yeah, so
it's not far, but I never thought. I'm like, okay, this is going to be covered up. Nobody's ever going to see it.
Right.
Me and Matt fucked the shit out of these boards and just beat the dog shit out of them.
So when you're standing on the ground, you're looking up, you can see through that.
You could see through
the
them.
plastic, and you could just see every hammer mark in the wood.
Yeah.
But the building's still standing.
That is true.
That's all that matters.
That's also the first time I ever used the nailers with the gas.
the
Cylinder.
pass loads.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta once it goes empty, you just replace
Any
the
other
gas
time,
tube.
I've always used an air compressor
Right.
and hooked it up, but
I
I've
mean,
never seen those cordless.
They're better, the air ones,
Yeah.
but they just lugging them around with the air hose,
Yeah,
stuff like that. That's all it is.
it's nice to have on your belt, and you can quickly pull it out, use it without having to
Oh,
drag an
yeah.
air hose and
Yeah.
a compressor around and having to keep moving that shit.
The only
every
thing
time.
is the guns are super expensive and the gas cells are very expensive.
So let me ask you this, because I've always wanted other people's opinion on it. I want to know your perspective as a consumer, not as a construction worker. Shingles or metal roof? What do you prefer as a consumer? Not as somebody who's working on it, but as a consumer, what do you prefer?
So if I were to get a new roof on my house,
Yeah.
which me and my wife already talked about this, we're going to do it. We have shingles on it now. We are going to put metal on our roof. And it's just, I guess just to me, it's yeah, you know what I mean.
Personal
Personal preference.
There you go.
Yes. So that's all it is. But people swear by shingles still,
I know.
but I swear by metal.
And the way that they've done shingles now is you can get colored shingles.
Right.
You can get just it's unlimited options when it comes to either or, really, because now you've got metal that doesn't have exposed fasteners.
Yeah, it's all hidden. Yeah,
It's all hidden fasteners,
Yeah.
so that the weather's not going to get on your
standing seam metal.
So you're
And then like with the shingles too, because back in the day all they had was 3-tab.
Yeah.
Now they got dimensional shingles and they look a lot better than the 3-tab.
right.
But still, I think I like metal a lot better.
Honestly, in my opinion, I've never heard of anybody having any storm damage or anything like that with a metal roof. If you have an insurance company come out and you're looking at a roof that's been through storm damage 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100, it's going to be shingle.
Yeah, for sure.
So I haven't heard anybody having any problems with the roofs other than obviously the neoprene washers going bad.
Yeah, they'll go bad, but then you also got to think like if one shingle goes bad, you can replace that one shingle pretty easy.
That's true.
If a piece of metal gets damaged, you got to take that whole piece of metal off.
Yeah.
And it's a whole bunch of screws. We've actually put pieces of metal on 50-foot long,
Damn.
I believe. It was on a church out in Summerfield.
No
Or
shit.
Carlisle, yeah.
That's
It's 50-foot
huge
pieces.
ass piece of metal.
It was 50.
Could you
45
imagine trying
or
to get that
50?
fucking thing up there without it bending and wrinkling?
No. Because I don't think you were working with us at this time. We're working on a house outside of Bell Valley, and it was a 12 pitch, so we had to be tied off and everything.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely hated. Well, this day we got there, it was windy. Seemed like every time we went to put a metal roof on, it was windy.
Fighting against you.
And we tried it. Well, we had a lift there because it was a 2-story house, so we had to lift the metal up with the lift,
Yeah.
and then we'd hand it off to the person tied off. Well, our Jim's son was up there on the roof tied off.
Yeah.
And I handed him this piece of metal. And as I handed him this piece of metal, the wind took and folded that piece of metal around him.
So if anybody's never worked with this metal, when it folds at all, if it gets wrinkled or anything, that piece of metal is garbage.
Ruined.
You cannot use it. It folds around it.
It folds around him. And he kept a hold of it. And then we got the lift up there around him, and then he finally handed it back off, and Jim was like, "Okay, we're done. We're going home."
Yeah, I would
He's
say
like,
so.
"We're not trying this anymore."
'Cause
I
that
was
shit
like,
ain't cheap
"Good
either.
call."
Yeah.
No, it is not. It is not cheap at all.
I could wonder what the cost difference would be. You still think shingle is probably cheaper than metal for a whole roof? I
Oh,
mean, I don't know
God.
what a square shingle is going for now, but
I've been out of the carpenter game for almost 2 years now, so it's hard to tell.
that's what I liked about that estimating class that we took. Because I did a project estimator thing. So they would give you, hey, you're going to do a project for a pole building that's 50 foot wide by 24 foot deep. Here's your dimensions that you need. We need to know how much lumber you're going to need, how many screws you're going to need, how many fucking everything. We did all that.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, it was our last semester. We did a project managing material estimating or some shit like that.
Mhm.
So we got like material estimating calculators and did all the math and shit. And you had to present him with a 3-page document, a cover sheet, a breakdown of materials, a breakdown of labor. Because he would tell you, okay, you're going to have this many days on the job. You're going to have this many rainouts, but you still have to charge for those, obviously. And then your markup on the bottom. And he said, I want a breakdown of all of it.
Really?
He said you're going to have a guy that's experienced. You're going to pay X amount of dollars an hour, and you're going to have 2 guys that can be your cut guys, but they're decently, they have background knowledge, but they're not going to get paid as much as your other guys. So you're going to have 2 guys on the job or 3 guys on the job plus yourself. This is what their labor is. That's already factored into it. Plus your markup. You tell me what you would charge to build a building this size.
So it's literally like you're running your
exactly
own little business,
it.
and he wanted you
Yep.
to. That's kind of cool.
It was cool as fuck to do. I'd have
Did
to
you-
find
did
the
you
flash
pass it?
drive. I did, yeah. Well, he said that was the weirdest thing because he said everybody's markup's going to be different. And obviously, when you order material, you're not going to order exactly what you need. Nobody ever does that.
No, you always get a little bit more than what you actually
Ours
need.
was, obviously, there was some things that you couldn't quite do the percentage on, but he said a good percentage of waste you're going to account for is an extra 10%.
Okay.
So he said, give her, when you order trusses, or why did I say trusses? When you order studs, order 10% extra studs because you're
Right.
going to have some studs that are fucking so fucked
They're
up you
warped.
can't use them.
Yes. Yeah.
He said, now obviously you're not gonna buy a whole fucking bucket of nails, and you can't get an extra 10% of that. So you're just gonna round up and get a second bucket, or if you think you can make do with one, then whatever. So his grade was based off if your price point fell in between this number and this
that
number. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you were anywhere in between there, you got an A. If your money was over here, he would look into it and say, okay, why are they so much, or why are they so little? Where are they shorting themselves at? He would run the numbers again to make sure that you were ordering the right amount of studs. If you're ordering 100 less studs, there's obviously a problem.
obviously,
So then your grade would reflect that. But I do remember getting an A on that final project. It was a lot of fun.
I honestly did not know you had to do that.
I have a flash drive somewhere, and I know I've kept it because it's got a lot of important shit on it. Every class that I took in college that I took notes on is on that flash drive. All the spreadsheets, all the PowerPoints, all the shit, all the. I got a burp. That sucked.
Yeah, I know. I just let one out. So
What are you drinking? Drinking Tito's and lemonade.
oh my god.
We'll talk a little bit more about that when me and Playboy get on here, which obviously, a little spoiler, if you guys listen to the episode, we are going to do a Warthogs only podcast the next episode. It's going to be a fun time, but we'll get further into that and talk more about it later. But I have been on a Tito's and lemonade kick here lately.
Yeah, I've been on a little twisted
Sounds like
tea
you're
light.
empty.
Yeah, I am empty, but I'll be all right.
There's one more in the fridge.
I know there is. That's the problem. There's only one more in the fridge.
You were supposed to bring more. That was the
Yeah.
problem.
I mean, I forgot. But
The Twisted Tea Lights are a lot better, and you're actually the one.
Do you actually think they're a lot
I
better?
think they're better, yes.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you.
Because
actually
the
like 'em
Twisted
better.
Teas, I was at Cleveland. And
Yeah.
I got a regular. No, I wasn't at Cleveland. I was at the bike memorial
Oh, just this.
just this
yeah,
past Saturday. So, for people who don't know, I'll go ahead and fill you in. Saturday, we took a ride up to the Hopedale Memorial Wall in Ohio here. For any fallen bikers, they have a memorial wall. You could pay to have their name put on this memorial wall or whatever. We go up there. They rededicate the wall on Memorial Day and Labor Day, I do believe. But they rededicate the walls. Long story short, I went up there. They only had regular Twisted Teas. I was like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. He said can or bottle. I prefer a bottle.
I prefer a can.
Everybody's different.
Right.
It really doesn't
It's
matter.
just like beer. I prefer a
Yeah.
can.
So I got a bottle, and I got Kristen a bottle of regular Twisted Tea. I go out. I'm standing by the bike. Take my first sip, and I was like, yep, this ain't light. You can tell it gets fucking heavy. So, but I drank it because I'm out bullshitting with everybody else, and Kristen's like, you want another? And I'm like,
And you paid for it.
and I paid
so
for
yeah,
it. Yeah.
you gotta finish it.
Kristen's like, you want another? And I was like, yeah, give me another, I suppose. I yelled at her when she got closer. I was like, hey, give me a Michelob. But I was like, shit, she probably didn't hear me. It's
Right.
too late. Brings out another Twisted Tea, original. And I'm like, fuck. So I drink this one. And then as soon as I get done, people are like, hey, we're going to go ahead and head up the wall, see the wall before they start the actual memorial. And just walking up the hill, I'm like, man, I feel bloated. I feel like ass. And I'm like, I know it's not because of the Twisted Tea, but it makes me feel like it is.
Right. I know what you mean.
The Twisted Tea Lights, in my opinion, are so much better.
But the thing about it too is like, it's like you're drinking straight tea.
I know.
I mean, you don't taste no alcohol. I don't get bloated. I don't feel like shit in the mornings. It seems like when I drink beer, which I love beer, but it seems like when I drink it, then I wake up the next morning, it hits me so hard.
I prefer, and this is weird, I know some people do it, but I prefer, if you're going to give me a beer, I prefer either a draft or give me a bottle with a little cup. That way I can pour it myself and I can get a lot of that carbonation
right.
or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
carbonation,
what
but-
it is. Yeah.
It's just so it doesn't bloat me so bad.
Right. Draft beer don't bloat you.
Nor like if they pour it the right way, it's not supposed to because it's supposed to get that shit out.
Right.
as
You're
they pour
supposed
it,
to pour all that. It's supposed
Yes.
to be bubbly.
It's supposed to pour it heavy.
Yeah.
It's the same way as there was
Guinness.
some guys. Yeah, Guinness.
Guinness,
They
yes.
pour Guinness like straight.
Yeah, they literally
Yeah.
dump it in there. Yeah. It's not like the 45-degree angle.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
because that
yeah.
shit will bloat you really
Yes.
bad.
Which draft beer, very good.
Very good.
But
It's
it
delicious.
does bloat me, which I'm probably pouring it wrong. But I like
Other
to get it
places
in my
might
cup
pour it.
as fast as possible and drink it as fast as possible.
Which normally happens to all of us, and that's how we end up getting wobbled.
Yeah, very wobbled.
I
We've
enjoy it, though.
had our fair share of
We have definitely had our
getting
fair shares
wobbled.
for sure. I've had plenty of stories.
Oh my god, that's the thing about me and him. We could go for days talking about stories.
When were we up at Wolf Run? What was the event going on up there?
Kevin was camping.
That's just it.
That's
It
all it
wasn't
was
special?
at the campground. It was
remember
nothing
that.
special.
We
He
st-
said, "Hey, come up." I was like, "You care if Clayton comes?" He's like, "No, bring him up."
yeah, we
You
started.
still had the Impala then.
Yeah, I
because-
did. Because long story short, we were up there, and I take a few beers. I was like, yeah, this would be enough. Like,
But
we're
I
just
had
going up
extra
for
for it.
bullshitting. And the girlfriend I had at the time went up with us, and I drank all that I had, and then wanted more. So I started drinking what you had, and we started by the fire. Everybody was standing and bullshit, and we had a good time. Then we slowly started migrating. I think the cooler was up by my car.
It was.
So we migrated up to the cooler and started talking up there. And then we were leaning on my car. All of us were.
We were holding your car still.
And that was the story we stuck to,
Yes.
was everybody said we were holding the car down
Yeah.
because we didn't want it to move.
Right, yeah, you don't want it to run.
But eventually that car wound up holding us all up.
Oh my gosh. That was a fun night though.
There was no way I was driving home that
No,
night.
that's why she drove home.
She drove
and
home, and I made her stop at McDonald's on the way because I was starving.
I'm pretty sure me and my wife stayed the night in there.
I think you guys did.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I said, hey, you think we stop at McDonald's, get chicken nuggets? It's late as fuck. I knew that. It was past midnight for sure.
Oh, for sure.
It's back when this McDonald's up here had the 24-hour drive-through.
And the thing about it is this: at this campground, you're not even supposed to be drinking. There's a sign right at the entrance that says no alcoholic beverages.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that's bullshit
Yeah,
because
I know a lot of
that's the
people-
only people. That's the only reason those people go camping there,
Right.
Because it's close to home, and they can drink.
Yep.
Not legally, apparently, but they're allowed. They're drink.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about Wolf Run, but
Yeah, it's the sign right when you pull in.
Hmm.
You have to pay attention next time. If you ever go there again,
I'm sure Kristen likes camping, so I'm sure we would like to go
Well, Kevin
eventually.
and them still camp up there. They just camped back this past weekend.
Really?
I think so. Yeah,
I wish I'd have known that.
because his daughter just graduated high school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
We're getting sidetracked. I want to get to the whole triangle. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to
Okay.
say?
Yeah, we went a little far.
We call it triangle.
Hang on. Before we start this, give me a second. I'm going to go get you.
I appreciate that, sir.
I'm still nursing this Tito's and lemonade. I need to do a better job.
I don't
So-
know why you got the nipple on there still. You got to take that thing off of there.
Take the straw out of it and start drinking it. So he mentioned this triangle, and this is kind of how we all had met. So we have a mutual friend that invited me to his wedding. Wanted me to be one of his groomsmen in his wedding. And of course, me and this guy were friends in high school, and we were cool. We weren't super tight, but we were close enough to where, like,
He
of course,
invited you to his wedding. Yeah, so,
obviously he invited me to his wedding.
Right,
And
so that's how close you guys were and stuff.
So I tell him, yeah, I'll be there, whatever. Obviously, the day comes, I don't think anything about it. It's not a big wedding, really. It was just black pants, a white shirt, and a tie as a groomsman. And we're getting ready, and I was outside hitting my vape, I think.
That's what it was.
I was outside, and your wife walked up.
Yeah.
I saw her first. Her and I went to school together. We knew each other growing up.
And you didn't even know it was my wife.
So I had no idea she was your
This
wife.
is the crazy part.
I'm outside vaping. I'm like, hey, Bailey, how's it going? She's like, hey, Clay, what's up? And then you walked the corner. I was like, hey, what's up, buddy? And
Which she wasn't my wife at the time.
right, no,
Yeah,
you guys
right.
were just dating at the time.
Yeah, we were just dating.
But I was like, hey, Jonathan, what's up? And Bailey goes, you know my boyfriend? I'm like, he's your fucking boyfriend? How the fuck how does that work?
And I think immediately after
Yeah.
that, I followed. I was like, you know Caleb? He's
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? I know. He's like, he's one of my best friends. I was like, what?
So you and Caleb have been friends probably, I don't know, probably as long, but because Caleb and I went to
It
school
wasn't
together
as
and
long,
go
yeah.
up through, but I didn't know that you knew Caleb.
So the only way I knew him, no, this is no bullshit. I only get gas at a certain gas station here in our hometown. And
Speaking of which,
he worked there.
I'm going to go ahead and drop this now. I
Drop.
will no longer be stopping at Pilot and Caldwell because they will not take a Warthog poster for the bike show and display it in their store.
Well,
they're not allowed to. They're like, well, we're not allowed to display anything.
They won't fly the American flag either.
Well,
Did
I
you-
will no longer be going to Pilot and Caldwell.
Did you not know that about the American flag?
I didn't know that at all.
So they do that because, a lot of truck drivers. I
Yeah.
mean, that's for truck drivers and stuff, and because there's so much
other
different,
people,
yeah, other people,
other drivers.
yeah. So and then they don't want to offend them other drivers,
Fuck it.
so they won't fly it.
Did not know that. But long story short,
But yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, I met him at Sunoco. That's the only way I knew this kid, Caleb, because I met him at Sunoco, and he'd always fuck with me when I'd go to get gas. He'd turn the pump off where I couldn't get gas, and then so on and so forth. That we started becoming friends, hanging out, stuff like that. And then he invited me to his wedding, and then
that's how you and
Yeah,
I eventually, because Caleb and I grew up together, basically going to school together. I didn't know Bailey was your girlfriend at the time.
and I didn't know you knew Caleb, and you didn't know Caleb knew me.
I didn't know Caleb knew you.
Yeah.
I didn't know your girlfriend. I knew nothing about you other than just you.
we
And then
worked
at
together.
this wedding we showed up at, we're like, holy shit, we all know each other, and we're all super close friends. So that triangle was super tight
Yeah,
for a long time. And
for
then
a long time.
for some reason, shit just kind of fell apart, and it is what it is. Like, people grow away from each other, and it is what it is. I wish the best for him. I hope he's doing great. I don't
Right.
wish anything bad about the
I'm
guy.
pretty
I
sure
just
he
never
is,
talked
so,
to him at all.
yeah. And then even after me and him fell out, me and you really didn't. We didn't pick up the pace there either. We kind of, we texted every now and then, but we didn't do nothing like hanging out and stuff like outside of work because you got a new job at that point.
Yeah, so I graduated college, and I needed something to do right out of college, and that's when I jumped on with the trash company.
Trash
that I was
company,
at.
yeah. And then I don't know. Later on, we finally got a hold of each other. Said, "Hey, we need to go do something. We need to start hanging out again, stuff like that, because we knew our friendship was too good to just disappear and
Right.
stuff like that." So
And I'm
Then-
glad that we did, because
Right.
it's led to, obviously, this new profession that we're in now.
Yeah.
It's led to so many different things. I came to you when you were proposing to your girlfriend. I had planned on doing the same thing with my now ex-girlfriend at the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
So we shared that moment together, which I thought was really cool. And
It
I'm
was
glad.
cool.
I'm obviously
Yeah.
glad my shit didn't work out, because
Yeah,
I
but-
wouldn't be where I'm at today.
because I told you I was going to propose to Bailey.
I came to your house and I was like, "Hey, I got something I got to tell you," or I just wanted to see you or something. So I stopped.
Yes, that's what it was, and you had the ring on.
I had the ring on
Yeah.
me. And I was like, "Hey, I got to show you this." And you're like, "No fucking way." And then you went in the house and grabbed your ring and showed me.
It was just so
I was like,
weird.
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, because I never told you at that point.
No, we had no
And,
idea.
yeah, that
No clue.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
That's
I was on
insane.
my Yamaha at the time.
Honestly, I think you were one of the first. You're maybe second person that I showed the ring to and actually told that I was going to propose to Bailey.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything about us has just meshed super well.
It's the weirdest thing.
When I started at this new profession, I wanted him to come in with me because it was all seniority based and everything like that. I can't get too far into it, but obviously you didn't want to come at the time because you were actually planning your guys' wedding and everything.
Yes,
throughout the whole process.
I wanted to make sure because I needed 2 weeks off
right.
because we had the venue for 4 days, I think, and we had to go there and do all that stuff. And then right after we were going to Florida.
We're probably not even going to need these notes because now I want to jump into this, which I've been dying to fucking talk about. I mentioned it in the earlier episode when I even mentioned you. I want to talk about your fucking wedding and all the shit that happened.
That's what I was
That's
supposed to
why
come on
this
season
episode is
one.
happening. Yes.
Yeah, season 1 you asked me to
Yes.
come do it, and
Yes.
I don't know what shit just got crazy, and
Shit
then
got weird, and I had to redo all my shit, but we're back
Yes.
now. So that's what
we're
matters.
definitely back
So,
now.
I want to switch topics now. Let's go to the moment you asked me to be your groomsman. I don't even remember what I was doing. It's funny. The only reason I remember what I was doing with Caleb's was because I was on my way to a strip club and I had to pull over to answer my phone. Because at the time I couldn't, I wasn't going to text and drive at the time or anything. I
Right.
can't remember what it was, but I was on the interstate and I got off the exit and I called Caleb back. I was like, "Hey, I missed your call." He's like, yeah, I want you to be a groomsman at my wedding. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, you want to go to start your bachelor party?
We can start real early.
But I don't remember. I don't know if you asked me in person or if you called me.
Well, I had to have asked you in person because I got all my groomsmen glass, a bottle of whiskey, and I think there was something else in there. But so I had to ask you in person to give you the gift.
It must have been. The bad part is I just don't remember.
I honestly can't remember either because you were probably still living at the old house, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I was still living in the valley.
I think I just brought it over. I'm not 100% sure.
I can't remember. I
That's
do
fine.
know
You obviously had different hours than I did.
that's what I hated. I was at this new job at the time, so I couldn't make your bachelor party because I didn't have the time to take off
Yes,
work.
which I was. That sucked.
Right.
I mean, I really
I really
wanted
wish
to be
I
there,
could have
but
been there for
I
that.
understood and stuff.
Especially knowing all your groomsmen that were with you.
I know. It would've
Fucking
been so
blast.
fun.
So
It was a lot of fun.
obviously I was going to be a groomsman for your wedding. I wasn't going to tell you no. That's something that I think is huge when somebody asks you to do something and be there on their special day. And I'm hoping that when my day comes, you're going to be one of those guys too for my wedding.
I'm kind of hoping.
That's my game plan.
Just a groomsman, though. You don't have to make me the best man or nothing because I don't want to do another speech. I had to do a speech at my brother's wedding, and I downed like 6 Crown apples and Sprite beforehand, and like I didn't feel a thing because my nerves were just so shot. I really don't care. I mean, I don't ask me to be in your wedding. I'll do whatever. you
Right.
want.
So I wasn't at the venue the days before, other than the rehearsal dinner the night before.
Yeah.
So the night before, we do the rehearsal. Everything goes great through the rehearsal. We have a great time. I think we had some great food. Everybody was just
got
chilling.
along.
Everybody got along. Everything was
Perfect.
perfect. The rehearsal could not have fucking went better. We're getting ready to leave, and that was the another cool thing too was we all stayed at Owen's house that night
Yes.
because
yes.
Bailey was going back to your guys' place so she could get ready because she
Yes.
didn't want you to see her.
I
the
can't
day
see her
of.
the day of or day
So,
before,
Our
whatever.
game plan was to go get alcohol, and we were going to Owen's to drink and have a good time.
Yep, and just stay the night there.
And stay the night there. That way nobody had to drive. We weren't getting fucking hammered. We were all told that nobody's to get fucking plastered. And we weren't going to. We were just going to have a good night. Seconds after leaving the venue.
But he's actually none of us left right then and there.
No, Owen had to leave.
Yeah, he
What
left a
was
little
going
early for some reason. I don't. But continue.
So seconds after Owen leaves, Bailey got the call.
No, his wife, Owen's wife, Lauren
got the call.
Yeah.
Owen wrecked his motorcycle probably 250 yards away from the venue.
Maybe.
So I don't, what was I doing? I think I was in the reception hall.
I think so. And I was right beside Lauren when she got the phone call.
I didn't know what happened when it happened.
Right. And I seen her face get white. And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And she wouldn't answer me because she was on the phone.
Yeah.
Then she started running down the driveway. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
So you guys took off.
Yeah.
I think Lauren ran.
She was running. But obviously I was like, what the fuck happened? And she's like, Owen just wrecked his motorcycle. And I was like, oh shit.
So I heard that news from Kristen.
Yes.
She goes, hey, Owen just wrecked his bike. And I'm thinking, obviously, worst case scenario. I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. Of course, nobody knows any details because they're going to find out what the fuck the details are. So Kristen and I get in the car. We take off, get down. Owen's got his fucking motorcycle upside down in a ditch. And he's standing in the ditch.
With his hands in his pockets.
With his hands in his pockets. And you guys just have to know Owen. This fucking guy.
I wish you guys could see the picture because I took a picture of him in the ditch with his motorcycle completely upside down.
His motorcycle was upside down in the ditch.
Completely upside
And he's
down.
just standing there. I'm like,
And it's not a small ditch, obviously.
no, it's enough to swallow his motorcycle.
Yeah, and like the seat, nothing was touching the ground because the 2 wheels were in the ditch, and that ditch is
Holding
that
it,
deep.
yeah.
You can crawl underneath the bike. It's that deep.
Yeah. So I remember I asked Owen, I was like, hey, are you okay? What hurts? He's like, nothing. I'm like, Owen, I need you to stop, dude. Because I was in EMR at the time. So I was like, I need to like check you out. Are you hurt? Are you cut? What hurts?
I forget what he said.
He said my guts.
That's what it was.
And I thought he said my nuts. And I was like, well, yeah,
Oh,
your nuts your nuts probably do hurt. You just got thrown from your motorcycle and landed in the fucking field.
Because you can see where his body landed. Because we can laugh about it now because it's all over with, and he was not hurt or nothing. But you can see where his body landed in the weeds. Like it was, I don't know how far away it was, but
I don't know how far
it was
his
away
body
from his bike for
Yeah.
sure.
And I'm like, well, your nuts probably do hurt. You fucking just got thrown from a motorcycle with no helmet on and landed face first in the field. He's like, nah, my guts hurt. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, those probably fucking hurt too. You know, you just got thrown from a bike.
And that bike, he just bought it brand new.
Yeah.
I want to say that year, the brand new Indian. It was, I mean.
He rode his bike and I rode my bike.
Yes, that's what it
fitted
was.
for your tux.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. And I was like, oh, and you couldn't have been going fast because the Indian's not very loud. It's just stock pipes, everything. It's not like your obnoxious bike. But I was like, you could have been going very fast. And he looked at me. He's like, I fucking got on her. I was like, there's no way, dude. I didn't hear you. He's like, well, I definitely got on
with
her. With
bad tires. And
yes,
I think it had rained too. Was it
I
wet?
think it rained a little bit before that, but it wasn't
bad,
terrible.
Yeah.
But we come to the conclusion that we looked at his tires and they were terrible.
Bad.
Very bad.
Take that corner too fast and just fucking.
It don't seem like a sharp turn, but it actually.
I'm glad he didn't lay that bike on its side and then fucking skid.
Yeah, it just skidded the whole.
He somehow lifted that bike back up and just went straight. Because he even said, he's like, I knew I was going too fast, but he said I tried to straighten the bike up and just drive through the field.
Well, there was probably a 2-foot patch where a little culvert ran through. He's like, I tried to get the damn thing through there. He's like, it was just too late. I couldn't do it. He's like, fuck it, I'm hitting the ditch. And you got to know Owen.
This guy's just a character. He's a great fucking dude.
He's
That's how this day or this evening basically is coming to an end. So our best friend and somebody who's also a groomsman in your wedding is in a motorcycle accident. He's not hurt to the point where he can't do it or anything, but it's still like a shock to all of us. Like, oh shit, this is happening the day before the wedding. So we all get alcohol. We go back to Owen's place, and he still parties with the best of us.
He's the first one to drink.
One drinking. He's on it. And I remember him pulling up his shirt, and it was just fucking black and blue on his stomach. I'm like, fuck, Owen, I bet that fucking hurts. He's like, nah, it ain't that bad.
It ain't that bad.
I'm sure it is, dude. That probably fucking hurts.
That man's something. He's something
one of the first ones out the next morning to get ready for the wedding.
That is a fact.
So let's talk about the wedding day, which let me start out by saying,
oh, fuck.
It was a beautiful day.
It was.
It was a great day.
It was. Everything was perfect.
It poured down the fucking rain.
But we looked past it.
Well, because I know you guys wanted to have it on the part that wasn't covered by the pavilion.
Yes.
I've heard that's how they do the wedding ceremonies up there when they have them.
Yeah, so the way this venue was set up, like, there was a pavilion part. It was all one big deck, but the pavilion only went over part of the deck, and then there was an open part of the deck, and we wanted to have it on the open part of the deck because there's trees behind us, everything. It was great, but weather,
poured down
Ohio
the fucking rain.
weather.
So, shit. I know we showed up at the venue, 4 or 5 hours prior?
Beforehand? Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
because we still had a couple decorations.
We weren't getting dressed or anything yet. We just showed up to help get ready. So we're getting decorations put up, and it's raining. So obviously it's okay. We're inside the reception hall, getting everything ready.
Yeah, everything was right there together. Reception hall, everything.
Everything was super close. It was nice. So we get in there, and we're help setting up the roasters for the dinner that they're going to have. Just getting the roasters plugged in, getting everything set up. The venue's electrical situation is a little on the
trashy side.
Side.
Let's say shit side. Yeah. That sounds better.
Because all the roasters that we plugged in kept blowing the breaker. So we're like, okay, we're going to have to figure something out. So we kept trying different circuits, and it was all on one fucking circuit somehow.
Well, the rain was going right in that.
And the rain was dripping into the panel box where the fuse was.
Yeah,
so we didn't help us either.
We put a trash bag over it.
Put the trash bag over the fuse panel. And we were still blowing fuses left and right because the lights would go out and everything in the reception hall would go out.
And as that's happening, we're getting leaks in the roof.
There's a roof over in the corner, the very far corner. We look and there's water on the tables and tablecloths already.
Yes.
And we're like, are you fucking kidding me? Needless to say, the girls don't. I don't know.
They're getting ready. They're getting their hair done, makeup.
I told Kristen about this. After obviously it all, she obviously I don't think knew anything was going on. Anyway, so we're patching holes in the roof. We're fucking fixing fuses. Oh my god, it was moving tables and chairs. Like you had everything planned out where the tables were set perfectly, the tablecloths, place settings. We had to tear all that shit apart, move everything, move the tables around. Meanwhile, the girls are getting ready. Don't have a fucking clue any of this is going on.
I made sure, like I told my mom, I told everybody, I was like, do not tell Bailey.
Yeah, don't tell the girls anything about it.
I do not want to ruin anything.
That was I wouldn't say one of the most stressed situations I was in, but I was like, we're running out of time.
It was pretty stressful.
Trying to get everything ready and set up, and so that way the girls didn't have to, because that was our big thing. We didn't want the girls to have to worry about it, or anybody else that didn't have anything in it. We were just trying to get everything ready, so that way nobody else had to worry about it. Turned out perfect. I think we got dressed, 20 minutes before we had to start taking pictures.
That's
It was
probably
quick.
true.
I mean, we got dressed in that little shack.
Yeah, a little greenhouse.
Little greenhouse.
That's what it was, yeah.
And we took pictures in the greenhouse.
It was perfect. Everything turned out great.
I still have the magnet from your guys' wedding to save the dates on the fridge.
Do you really?
Yep. I told Kristen I wanted to keep it because that was just awesome.
Oh yeah, it's nice. I think the rain finally stopped.
It did stop long enough for the wedding ceremony.
Yeah, and we had a shit ton of beer.
Yes, you guys had plenty of beer. Coolers full.
We had a lot of beer left over too.
I
think I took like 4 cases of beer to myself home.
I couldn't imagine. I'm sure.
And I think Dean took a couple cases too.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. But everything turned out great. Our DJ was great. I think everybody had a good time.
Who was your DJ that did your thing?
It was like Montana something or Mountain something. I can't remember who.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't know this obviously at the time because I was just new to where I worked at. Rusty Powers is his DJ, and he does weddings and venues and all kinds of shit.
Does he really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I did not.
He DJs on the weekends.
I can't see him being a
Rusty
DJ.
DJs on the weekends.
I can't see him being a DJ.
Yeah, he DJs on the weekends.
That's cool as hell. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either at the time, but when you said DJing was good, I was like, yeah, it is. But I said, I've always wanted to have DJ or have Powers do my DJing one of these times.
I did not know that.
He'll definitely be invited to my wedding. Because
when is your wedding?
I have no idea yet. I haven't even proposed to her yet. We still got a ways down the road for that yet.
Oh yeah, you guys got a dog together, so it's coming.
That's what people say, and they're like, that's the start of it.
That's the start of it.
Somebody at the motorcycle club's old lady asked her, like, when are you guys start having kids? I said, we just got a fucking dog. I was like, isn't that how that works? Got to get a dog first, do the trial run with the dog, make sure everything's okay there. The motherfucker still shits and pisses all over the floor, so.
He's still alive though, right?
Not dead yet.
No, okay, well,
we have a goose cam.
Oh, goose.
Goose cam. That's funny that you bring that up too, because this is a story that nobody knows except for Kristen. We're getting ready.
Everybody.
We're getting ready this morning to go to Sam's Club, pick up our pickup order for Sam's Club, and there was some shit we had to do in Parkersburg. So we're getting shit ready. She tells me, hey, we got to get ready to go. She had to start getting dressed. So I finish my breakfast. I start to get dressed, and Cooter, my bulldog, starts dry heaving. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, and I said it out loud. I said, Coot, don't fucking do this right here in the house. Gets into the closet, books, pukes all over the floor.
Is that carpet in there or no?
It's a rug. It's one of the rugs.
Right on the rug.
It's on the rug, but it's no big deal.
Right.
Because it was just like
white
saliva shit. I'm like, oh, fuck. Kristen's like, don't worry, I'll get it. And I was like, no, I got it. Fuck,
if you're going to tell me what I think you're going to tell me.
So I come in here to the kitchen. I grab 2 paper towels. I double them over ourselves.
You got 2 paper towels for puke?
It was just white saliva.
I don't care. I'm grabbing 18 paper towels. That's just me.
Wait, don't beat me to the fucking funny part of the story yet. So I put the paper towels down on the floor, and instead of reaching down with my hand, I just take my foot and I like pat over top of it with my foot, because I had just finished my last bite of a cheese omelet with sausage, peppers, onions, toast, hash browns. I'm extremely full at this point.
Didn't feel like bending over.
I go to bend over, and I can feel my food in my throat.
No way.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking puke right here where the dog just puked. So I stand back up. I'm kind of just looking around, and Kristen's like, well, you got to fucking get it. Let me start by saying she did not say that. But in my head, that's kind of like what I thought she said. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, fine. I just stood there, and I waited some more, thinking about it. She's like, Clayton, what's wrong? And I said, I'm not going to lie to you. I said, I feel like I could probably throw up if I lean down over here and try to get this fucking paper towel. She's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. I said, I can feel my food not digesting, and it's sitting on my throat right now. She's laughing at me, thinking I'm joking. I said, Kristen, my throat's watering right now. I said, I can feel my mouth watering.
And you're still standing
there in the hallway, and they're in the closet. Cause I'm like, I gotta fucking get this. She's doing her makeup. She ain't gonna fucking get it. Jonathan, I'm not gonna lie to you. I bend down to go pick up this paper towel, and I go, turn around out of the closet. I dry heave 3 more times, and Kristen is pissing herself, laughing so fucking hard.
That's all you did was dry?
I just dry heaved. But she's like, "Are you fucking serious? It's just saliva." I'm like, "Babe, you have no fucking idea. I almost just lost an entire fucking omelet on the floor. You thought that was bad? I almost added to it, and then we would have needed 18 paper towels."
Oh my! Sometimes dry heaving's way worse than actually.
I dry heaved 3 times, and I stood over there by the washer and dryer, and she laughed so hard. Her face got beet red, and she laughed so hard that she quit making sounds because she laughed so hard.
I'm so surprised that Bailey didn't get a video from Kristen or something.
Oh, Kristen couldn't because she was doing
Because
her makeup.
she was okay.
Had her phone sitting there watching it, doing her makeup.
And she was.
Well, Kristen would have taken.
I'm sure she would have.
I did. I dry heaved 3 times, and I was like, "That fucking paper towel can wait."
She would have definitely sent that to
So-
the group chat.
Kristen had to pick up the paper towel and throw it away for me. And she's like, "You're a fucking pussy." I was like, "I know I'm a fucking pussy." I said, "I'm just glad I didn't puke right next to it."
Oh God, that's hilarious.
I don't know how I
I
did
thought you were going to tell me that you came into the kitchen, grabbed paper towels, and by the time you got back, it was gone because dogs do that.
Oh, yeah.
Other dogs.
it. Cooter probably would have ate it.
I'm sure Cooter would have, but that's what I thought you were
Yeah.
going with the story.
Dogs would normally lick that shit up.
You
No,
did.
No, the dogs weren't anywhere around it after Cooter puked. He's like, "Nate, you got to
Right-
clean this up.
right here.
I'm going
Right here,
after
boss."
this." But yeah, I did. I almost fucking puked right on top of that paper towel.
That'd have been bad too with that omelet.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
After 5 years of the fire service, I can't believe I never did puke on a fire call or an EMS call for some of the shit that I've seen. I did dry heave quite a few times.
See,
but
I got a weak stomach, so like if you puked in front of me, I'd probably puke. If it's I don't know what it is.
that night Bennett puked in the house when we partied that night. I patted his back and then stuck my finger in the sink and was swishing it around because I needed it to go down the drain.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I was drunk that night.
Oh,
I
well,
was
that makes
fucking
sense.
hammered.
But still, well, Fogel did the same thing.
Yeah, but I
Remember,
didn't.
he puked in your garage.
I ripped his shirt off of him.
Right.
I wasn't drunk that night.
Right.
I ripped his shirt off of him, and then I went over the next day and hosed out the garage and like broomed out the garage and shit. But
He was in bad shape that night.
bad shape. But yeah, normally when it comes to vomit and shit like that, like it's not too bad. But I just ate. I literally took the last bite of the omelet, threw the plate away, went in the closet, dog pee. I'm like, you gotta be fucking shitting me.
I can't do it. That's why I said I'm grabbing 18 paper
So that's
towels.
what me and Kristen were talking about. She's like, I can't wait until we have a kid. And
Oh my god.
she said, you're going to pick up the baby and it's going to have shit running up its back.
I just seen a TikTok today of these people must have been traveling or something because it said they were like an hour and a half away from their destination,
Yeah.
whatever. Well, they had a little baby in the car seat in the back seat, and the dad opens the door, and this baby is sitting in the car seat, and he goes to reach for him, and then notices there's shit coming out of the diaper, and it's all over the car seat.
Oh, man.
So the dad was like, he was joking around. He starts closing the door. He's like, "All right, we only got an hour left. We're gonna get there."
Oh, man. Can't imagine the smell of that shit.
Oh, I bet it'd be nasty.
I saw a TikTok too, and this part like makes me want to have kids so fucking bad. These couple were driving down. I don't know where the fuck they were, but there was motorcycles parked on the side of the street, and the dad driving the car was like, "Man, that red one looks fucking cool." And from the back seat, all you hear is "fucking cool." He's like, Joanna, we don't say those words." He's like, "But you said that word, so that means I should be able to say that word." He's like, "No, that's a bad word. We don't say those words." And I'm like, I know I'm gonna do that with
Oh,
my
yeah,
kids. There's
for
no doubt
sure.
in my mind.
And then
I have zero filter.
they're always gonna ask you, "Hey, what's this mean? Hey, what's that mean?"
Yeah.
And then you got to come up with some fucked up story of what that word
Just
means.
can't wait to toddler walk like stumbling around the fucking yard. Fucking cool.
Fucking cool, dumb bitch.
Yeah, some bitch.
Oh
Or
my god,
my favorite one is shit bag
shit
or
bag.
shit truck.
Oh yeah, or
Kristen,
shit.
Kristen picked that up from me too. She's like, her kid's gonna be walking around the house. Fucking shit bag. Fucking shit bag.
Oh my
I
god,
can't wait. It's gonna be a good time. All things are gonna happen in good time. But
What's my little brother just?
Yeah.
he had twins this past year, or this year actually. Kind of bad. I can't remember the month, but I can't remember what I did yesterday. So.
right.
But yeah, he had two little girls.
They're not your kids. And
twins.
that's what matters.
Yeah, they're not my kids. That's all that matters. Yeah, and they're just the cutest things ever. The bad thing about it is he lives north.
Right.
He lives a couple, almost a couple hours away. But I need to make a trip up there to see him.
this is gonna sound super shitty, but then again, you said the same thing. I can't remember what I did yesterday. I know we got you guys a Christmas gift, or not Christmas gift, a wedding gift, but I can't remember what the fuck we got you. I got Caleb and Josie a handmade wooden sign that was engraved with their name and their marriage date on it. I thought we got you guys something too.
You got me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember now. Yeah.
You got me a case full of cigars.
Yeah, sure did.
I forget how many was in there, but that's what you got.
I think Kristen got Bailey something.
She did.
Maybe.
I think so.
Because I took care of. Yeah. I had the tins of cigars anyways, and I was like, I'll just order an extra one because I'm sure he'd like the cigars.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. You almost had me there for a minute because I couldn't remember what the hell it was.
I was like, man, what the fuck?
I was like, I know for a fact he gave me something.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, yeah.
It wasn't as heartfelt as a handmade sign. I didn't make the sign, but I mean, it was a sign with Caleb and Josie's name on it, but I was like, fuck it, I think he'll like this.
I actually used my gift, though.
Yeah,
I used all of them, so
right.
That's all that matters. But yeah.
So let's change gears just a little bit. We'll kind of go off topic of the stories here. What do you think of the new podcasting room? Because you're the first guest to see it.
Well, being as how you did none of it.
I did not.
This was all Kristen's idea.
So I told everybody on the last episode that Kristen did all this by herself, yes. And I want to see what other people, because the shitty part was everybody knew but me.
But you.
Everybody did.
But you.
Everybody saw the Snapchat stories and the pictures of everything, and I didn't know about it till I got home. So does it live up to the pictures? Does it live up to the standards?
It's way better than the pictures.
I know she'll listen to this, and she loves to hear what other people think about what she did. She was super worried that, like, she bought cheap brushes. So if you look, like, there in some of the red spots, it's kind of like you can see the brush strokes in it. It doesn't matter.
Does she paint for a living?
No.
I didn't think so.
Exactly.
So, I mean, from my perspective, it looks
amazing.
Awesome.
You know, a little bit of paint bled from the tape, and I was like, it gives it character. I know you did that.
And she was cheap. She bought cheap tape.
Yeah,
she should have bought more expensive tape, but
she don't know. She don't know. She wanted to replace the flooring, and I'm so glad that she didn't, because that would have been a fucking mess. I would have had to come through and tear it all up and go back through and do it again.
We should change the floor in here. It really wouldn't be that hard.
We're gonna change the floor. Anything that's carpet. Actually, we're gonna change the floors in all the house. But anything that's carpet's getting ripped up, we're gonna put hardwoods in.
I hate that idea.
I know you do, and I told Kristen. I said, Jonathan's like the only fucking person that loves carpet.
Gotta have carpet in the bedrooms and in the living room. I don't know. What the living? Yeah, it's living room.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but if I ever built a house, that's what it would be like. That's how it is at my house right now.
Right.
The only room that has linoleum or tile or whatever is the kitchens and the bathroom. Kitchen.
Yeah. Yep.
One kitchen. In the bathrooms. That's it.
Does your little game room, storage room have carpet in it too?
No, actually, it doesn't. Does
it have the linoleum?
Yeah, it has linoleum in it.
That's what we're going to do, tongue and groove and everything, and we're going to replace some of the floors. It's kind of spongy. And
don't get me wrong. The flooring's great. So
yeah, it's just a pain in the dick.
I mean,
have to rip all this shit up.
If you spill anything on it, wipes right up.
Right.
Carpet, you spill anything on it, it's hard to get up. So I mean, I understand that aspect.
Yeah.
It's
we even
great.
Said with Goose, he has accidents. He's a puppy. He's fucking
right, yeah,
probably 9 or 10 weeks old right now. So he still he pees on the carpet from time to time. And we take spray, we clean it up, we get it all up. But I told her, I was like, I would like to get Mom's shampooer once he gets potty trained enough to know that he can't do that. And then we'll eventually redo the carpets and shit before we pull them up and shit.
But yeah, the room, this is my first time seeing it in person.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely great.
It really does. She really
great.
outdid herself.
She definitely did.
I can't be upset at that. She did it all herself. She kept it from me. It was a great surprise. I spend so much more time in here now. Playing Xbox, working on podcast shit. Because, I mean, you noticed at 10 o'clock she was already in bed. She was asleep when I went in there. When he told me the dog was barking, the dog didn't even wake her up. And Goose was standing on her chest like, what the fuck's going on?
I thought I heard her yelling at Cooter, but I guess not.
No, I went in there to get I went in there and yelled at Cooter. I was like, it's me, motherfucker, quit.
And she was still sleeping.
Dead asleep.
That's insane.
So she goes to bed around 10 o'clock. I get off work at 10 o'clock. My bedtime's not until about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
It's so hard to fall asleep after you get off work.
It is.
I don't know why. You're tired at work, but you come home and you're like,
coming home and winding down and shit.
I don't understand it.
So I spend a lot of time in here just kicking it, playing Xbox, fucking around with the podcast, working on the equipment and shit. I'd like to eventually get newer equipment, update my shit. But so far, everything's going good right now.
Yeah, everything looks, all the equipment, everything looks great. It looks nice.
I really like it.
I love it. I love this accent wall. I'm telling you, this is this is sweet.
I saw this before she did it.
Oh, did you?
She had a Tinder
Oh my god.
That's where we met. She was not on Tinder. What's that other one? The social media page. Pinterest. That's what I
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Tinder and Pinterest. I don't know how I got this fucked up.
Two totally different things.
But she had a Pinterest board set up, and she showed me the picture of this accent wall. The red, the gray, you know, whatever. And she's like, what do you think of it? I was like, well, it looks pretty cool. And she's like, oh, yeah, I think we should be able to do this sometime in the spring or summer, later on when we have some time
just
to do
stuff
it.
like that. Yeah.
She said she already had plans to do it, but she
Right.
wanted to make sure that I was
You
okay
liked
with it
it.
before. So the darker pieces is the old colors of the wall that Camden did.
I did not
dark
even
steel.
notice
Yep.
that.
She didn't even paint over those. So those are the dark steel color that he picked. And then she did the light gray and the red. And I said, it's perfect because I said it's
Ohio State color.
It's Ohio State colors.
Yep.
It's correction colors, which I'm very fond of.
Yes.
And I said, you even left the older dark gray in with the old wall. So I said, it's not like completely new, but I said, it looks good. She's like, I think it's too dark in here. I just don't like it. I think it needs another coat. And I'm like, it's fine. It's perfectly fine the way it is.
It
Like,
was
I
too
love
dark in here before she
It
did
was too dark
this.
before. And then she still
Yes.
thinks that she didn't like the color. So she was
And-
afraid she's going to have to do it again.
Let's not forget your neon sign.
Yes, I got a new sign too, the Let's Get Wobbled sign. That motherfucker.
Dude, it's
is
bright.
that's
You
how-
got all these lights around the room, and that's bright.
bitch, that's 10% right there.
Shut up.
This is 100.
Holy shit.
That'll light up the fucking neighbors.
Are you
house.
kidding
That's
me?
100% right there. So I leave it on 10%.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Bright
Because
as
we
fuck.
we got a sign just almost like that with
So
our
that's
last
where
name.
that's what Kristen got the idea from. Was from Bailey.
Did
I think
she get it
messaged
from the same
Bailey.
place?
Same place on Amazon.
Mine's not that fucking bright.
So Kristen wanted two lines. She wanted Let's Get on the top and Wobbled on the bottom. And she accidentally fucked up on something or whatever. So she ordered the more expensive sign, but made it all one line. And she got super upset about it. And I was like, babe, it looks perfect. Like, it's going to fit perfect. Everything looks good, blah, 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 whatever. I pounded one of the nails in and hit a fucking stud. I couldn't believe it. It's like, with this old fucking trailer, the studs are not on center of
That
anything.
carpentry work paid off.
But yeah, it looks great. It's got those accented like nuts at the top of it, so like it covers you can't even tell there's a nail in there. It just looks like there's I don't know, like an accented piece coming out of it. But
That's super nice. And all
it's super nice.
your little,
The lights are on the top. I
Yeah.
can change the colors on those of all different kinds. I can make them flash.
which I don't know why you got a rainbow color right now.
I don't know. I wanted something where we
Looks
could
nice.
see what we're doing.
You
I
can see
like the
perfect.
red. I like the red and flashing when I'm playing games. and
Is red
shit.
your favorite color?
It is.
Motorcycle's red. You got red in your
Motorcycle's red.
truck.
Blue used to be I don't even know how you change favorite colors, but blue was my favorite color. But it seems like everything that I have is red.
Right. Yeah. Literally, you got red curtains in here.
I had no choice.
Well, that is true. Yeah, you didn't
She
pick
did it all.
anything out. All your poker chips.
Yes. So all the poker chips from the Harley Davidson stores that we've visited are all there. We have custom Warthog ones up there. There's a Cambridge PD poker chip up there.
Really?
There is a poker chip from any Harley Davidson that her and I have visited, and then ones that other people give us.
I know I've seen a couple of them, but you got a lot more. Since
I've got
the
a
last time I've seen 'em.
I've got a Ziploc bag in the closet of extras of like duplicates that I don't want to put up there because they're
Really?
just duplicates. So I just trade them with other people. And
And you got a Warthog case. And
Warthog,
it's
Kristen had the Warthog
engraved
case
on
made.
there.
Let me think. I'm trying to think of where. I think there's an Alaskan chip in there.
Oh, really?
I think. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look. I know there's one from Florida Keys. I know there's one from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, I do believe.
What was that?
Puerto Vallarta.
It
Maybe.
sounds
I know
good.
there's a Mexican Harley Davidson chip in there.
Huh.
But guys will go on trips or whatever, and they come back and they're like, "Hey, we got a poker chip for you." And they give
How,
it to
how
me,
do they
and
get the chips though?
You go to a Harley shop and pay fucking $7 for them.
Oh, really?
They're not $7, but I mean they're
Oh,
fucking
but
expensive.
you pay for them?
Yeah, anything with a Harley Davidson emblem on here.
So
But
any Harley Davidson shop,
yeah,
I mean,
any Harley shop you can
Really?
go into, and they have a poker
and
chip.
it has their location and stuff like that or whatever.
Yeah, and a lot of them are known for like a certain thing. So, like the Keys, Florida Keys Harley Davidson shop, I think it's got something to do with a chicken. So they have a chicken on there.
Really?
The one from Myrtle Beach that we visited was Harley on the beach, and it's got like a beach scene and the waves and shit.
That's cool as hell. I did not
Athens,
know that.
Athens Harley Davidson, I don't think has anything special.
I didn't even know there was a Harley Davidson.
There's
in
one in
Athens.
Athens.
I
Yep.
did not know that.
Let's see where else. The one we went to up in Michigan when we went for the Russ concert. We stopped at one.
I forgot you went to a Russ concert.
It was called Wolverine Harley Davidson.
Really?
They have a Wolverine on their fucking chip.
Huh.
I mean, you can get all kinds of shit. There's all kinds of different ones you can do and shit.
Then
But
you got your name on the American flag back there.
I like that.
I've never seen that.
I like it, but it doesn't
It don't fit. I mean, I understand, but people's got to know who you are when they come in the room.
Did you see the fire truck Kristen got me from Jason's Wholesale? It's a Harley Davidson fire
Harley
truck and a Harley
Davidson.
Davidson motorcycle in the back of the truck.
I did
That
not see
motherfucker's
that.
worth $30 more than what we paid for.
Holy shit.
I know.
That's the good thing about him, though.
I love
He
Jason's
has all this
Wholesale.
expensive
That
shit, but he
motherfucker
sells
takes
for
all
cheap.
the fucking money.
That's the bad
I
part
hope
about
he's
him.
listening to it. He said he would like to get to listen to it.
How much money did you spend on fucking laundry detergent?
I bought. This is gonna sound really bad, so
These
stick
come in
with me.
5-gallon buckets.
I probably got, not for me, but for people in total. That,
Right.
Like for my mom and my
And for
brother.
you, though.
I want to say probably 6 or 7 5-gallon buckets of soap.
Oh, my gosh.
Liquid soap.
Not counting the beads.
For
either.
myself, the beads, I probably about, I know, I bought a case for myself, which was 4-gallon of laundry beads. And then I think I probably had 6 for myself at least, and then probably 4 for mom.
Then you bought the pumps.
I bought the pump for the
then
liquid
pump it out.
transfer for the, yeah.
You got your humidor in here.
I really wish we could smoke cigars in here. Kristen said I can't smoke inside. I hate it. Because that would just make this perfect.
would
but
be
at the
sweet.
same time,
It
like
would.
I understand she
Oh,
doesn't want
no.
the house to smell like smoke, and I get that.
Literally.
'Cause cigar smells hard to get out of
Oh,
anything.
very hard.
And we live in a house with a wood burner too, so all of our shit smells like fucking smoke anyways. But
Right. But
it is what it is.
yeah, it is what it is.
And I told her, she even said too, like in the summertime when it's cool, we can open the garage door and go out there and podcast and shit. But now that I've got this place, I don't see myself podcasting anywhere else.
If you need to just stay in here because it's
For
just
sure.
way too sweet of a setup. She definitely outdid herself with everything.
It's weird too, because she just said like, like she wasn't expecting a good reaction out of it. Because I don't know what it is about me. Like when I'm surprised, I don't show like my real reaction
I am
when I'm surprised.
on the same way.
I can't remember what she did something big for me too, and my reaction was, oh, that's really cool. I like that. She's like, really? That's all you got? But when I come in from Cleveland, I had no idea. The only thing I thought she did was move the poker table out. The poker table was leaned up against the wall you're sitting by right now.
Right.
I saw it in the garage when I pulled the bike in. And she also asked where the drill was. And I said, I bet you she hung up
That's
that
what it
poker
was,
chip
the
holder.
drill.
So I was like, I wonder if she hung that poker chip holder up somewhere maybe. Because she knows how important it is to me, and I really
Right.
like it. And it's been sitting on the counter, just taking up space in there. But I come in, and I just opened the door where I could see everything. And I was like, you've got to be fucking shitting me.
So you had a great reaction.
Great reaction. She took a video of it. My reaction's fucking wild.
That's
She'll,
cool.
I did. I loved it because I had no idea. Everything about this experience should have told me that she was doing something big. The goose cam was off because I went to show a buddy of mine about the goose cam.
She unplugged it.
She unplugged the goose cam, and I was like, hey, I think one of the dogs fucked up and unplugged the camera by accident or something. She's like, oh, yeah, I'll take a look at it. Oh, hey, by the way, do you know if we have a drill anywhere? Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know if we even have a drill. I said, no, we borrowed one from somebody. She's like, oh, I thought we had one. And I just, it never crossed my mind
All
again.
she
I was
had
in
to do was
Cleveland.
get a hold of me, and you would have never even. You would
Probably
have
would have
never
never known about it. But
Yeah, no.
let's spin away from this just a little bit. I got a couple questions I'd like to ask you, and if you have any for me, I'd more than likely let you spin off on it. And
What
whatever
if I
you
don't
wanna
have
do.
any answers?
If you don't have any answers, we're fucked because
Fuck.
we'll figure it out though. So, the first question I want to ask you as a guest on the podcast. I was thinking about this myself, and I've got a story about it too. It's fucking hilarious. But have you ever noticed that your wife gets a bunch of compliments out in public, or like somebody will come up to her and be like, "Hey, your hair looks really pretty," or "Hey, I really like that shirt," and it always seems to happen to your wife or your girlfriend. And maybe it's just me per se, but I don't ever get any compliments out and about. Does that ever happen to you, or do you even notice it at all? If you don't notice it, it is what it is. But
I guess I've never really paid attention to stuff like that. Now, me personally, I've never had somebody come up and be like, "Hey, I like your shoes," or, I like your hat or stuff like that. But I guess the only compliments I've really had is like my cars.
right,
Like people see me and be like, "Hey, that's a nice car, man," whatever, and then
Let's
they'll
talk
talk to
car
me
shit.
about car stuff.
Yeah.
And that's about it. But I've never really noticed anybody actually. I mean, I'm sure there's
some
been
people-
something.
some people don't really
Right.
And I don't know if it's just because of the way Kristen is. And this isn't anything bad about her. It's actually very funny, and I actually enjoy it because her and I bicker about it all the time, just joking. But she has, I don't even know how to explain it without sounding weird. Like, her lips look like she's had injections done before. If you've ever noticed, like, people are always like, wow, your lips look amazing.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think it's just in her family because her brother has big lips too. And it's just, I don't know.
It's just a thing.
It's just a thing. It's got to be genetic or something like that. But we'll go places, and I'm telling you, it's more often than not. Like, it's kind of weird. Almost, that people know. It's something people notice.
It's kind of weird that like somebody's looking at her
People
lips.
are like, "Hey, what lipstick do you use? What shade of lipstick do you use? That looks gorgeous on you."
Really?
And she goes, "It's natural, my natural lips." And they're like, "No, it's not." She's like, "You've had to have work done by somebody." And she's like, "No, that's just my lips." Kristen does not wear lipstick. I have never known her to wear lipstick.
That's kind of
Not
crazy.
once.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I've never.
Just
I guess I've never looked at her lips.
People see it all the time, and they compliment her about it.
That's
And
so
I brought
weird.
it up one day. I was like, because she got like 4 compliments just for one day of us being
Wow.
out. And I'm like, you know what fucking grinds my gears? I said, these people will talk to you and they'll compliment you on your shirt, your lips, your fucking hair, everything. Kristen's very good at makeup too. People compliment her makeup. People compliment her eyeshadow, her fucking lipstick. And I was like, you know what? I said, why don't I fucking get compliments like you do? I'm walking right next to you, but nobody ever does.
Hey, your beard looks really nice today.
I was at Walmart, been a couple months ago now, but there's the guys in there that work for the cell phone company that aren't tied to Walmart or whatever.
Right, yeah. Get you a drink. Oh my gosh.
My Cheetos and lemonade's empty. You hear that?
This Twisted Tea's almost gone too.
I have to get a refill. But the one guy goes, "Hey, nice beard, dude. What do you got to do to get it to look like that?" I'm like, just fucking let it go. I don't know what to tell you. Beard oil and brush. That's all I can tell you. That's all I've done. Get it
Like
trimmed.
you weren't like excited about it. You're just like
I was like, hey,
it was just like a normal conversation or whatever.
I didn't even think anything about
I
it.
didn't even think anything of it.
In Cleveland, a drunk woman asked me how to get my patches. So on my cut, I got patches on the front of them. They're called flash patches, but they say wobble in the year I joined the club and all that shit. This woman is fucking annihilated. She's gone. And she's got to be in her 50s. Older woman. Not like old, but like she's way older than me.
Right.
Comes up to me and like patting me on the fucking, like finger poking me in the chest. I'm like, who the fuck is this bitch? Because like, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but people in motorcycle cuts normally aren't just people you walk up and start a conversation with,
Exactly.
especially if you don't
Right.
know them.
Exactly.
Now, obviously, we're a law enforcement motorcycle club. We have police officers, firefighters, EMS.
But how many people actually know?
Nobody,
that?
not a lot of people know.
That's what I
But
mean,
This
yeah.
woman walks up and finger fucking me in the chest. She's like, "How do I get one of those?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes,
Buy a motorcycle.
she's like, "Those patches." And I was like, "Well, you got to earn them. I mean, you can get the vest." I thought she was asking about the vest.
right.
She's like, "You know, in my next life, I would really like to be a biker." And I told myself that next time I get a chance to live this life, God forbid that I get a chance, I'm going to be a biker. And I just want patches of my own so I look cool like you guys do. And I'm like, bitch, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. But I was like, you can get a vest from anywhere. Any leather workshop, you can get a vest. She's like, no, I want those patches. And I was like, well, you can have them made too. And she's like, no, I want those patches. I was like, bitch, you ain't getting these. I don't know what the fuck you want me to tell you, but you ain't getting these fucking patches.
Yeah, I'd say she did not
And
remember
no
anything
idea.
about that day.
She's like, okay, I better get back to my husband, and turned around and walked away. And we were all
what the
standing there.
hell?
Me, Playboy, and Heimdall were all standing there like, what the fuck just happened? Like, who the fuck is this bitch? And how does... We're in Cleveland. We are nowhere near where we're from. We're 2 hours away from it. I know this bitch don't know, fucking know me or nobody.
Yeah, nobody knows you.
Comes right up, finger fucking me in the chest. Where do I get those patches at? And she sounded like a smoker, kind of just like that, too.
She acted like it was a bad thing. She had to go back to her husband.
She's like, I gotta go back to my husband.
Oh, that's
Jeez.
hilarious.
Those guys, I'm like, how come you guys get hit on chicks my age, but I get hit on like chicks that are like 50 years old? We were up the memorial wall, and this drunk older woman comes up, tapping me on the shoulder again. Like, what the? I don't know what it, like, am I just some kind of guy that looks like I want to be fucking tapped on the shoulder all the time? And but she pats me on the shoulder, and she sees my fire department crest. She's like, you know, I'd just like to thank you for your service. I was like, all right, thanks. She's like, you're a firefighter. My sons are firefighters. I just appreciate you. I was like, well, thanks. I appreciate it. Annihilated woman. That's all she said. Walked away, didn't say another word.
Not one word.
Not one
after
word.
that. But I bet that felt kind of cool.
It's cool,
You know what I mean?
Like, it's just weird because you think the
Right.
stigma of people. Like I said, I didn't join the motorcycle club to make me feel like a badass at all.
Right.
nothing like that, but
Obviously.
when I was outside of the motorcycle club, a person with a cut on is just not somebody you'd go up and strike a conversation with normally. You let those guys be, they're doing their thing, you know, but these, I don't know what it is about fucking 50-year-old women that don't have anything else better to live for than to fucking try their buttons, I suppose.
I'm going to start doing that randomly to you, though. I'm just walk up to you and start poking
I
you.
wouldn't give a shit about you.
I know
guys.
you wouldn't, but if you'll get the joke and you'll just start laughing.
I'd
about
love
it.
that if we were out in public and you started doing, because people wouldn't know that you'd be with me or knew me,
Exactly.
and I'd
That's
just
what I mean.
motherfuck you and get all up in your face. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Oh, God. That'd
be
be
hilarious.
so funny.
It would be. But, I mean, I say that like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to come up and strike a conversation with me. I'm still a person. I still have a life at the end of the day with my girlfriend and with or without the cut on.
Right,
you
but
know?
like you said, you don't go up to a random biker like that with a cut and stuff like that and just start yelling in their face. And I guess
Apparently-
I wouldn't do
Apparently,
that.
alcohol seems to bring out the best in people.
Well,
I
you know,
suppose.
alcohol gets you and makes you feel like you're 10 foot tall.
Believe me, I've
and
been
with
there.
the world.
Yeah, you can dance too when you're on alcohol too.
Well, hey, I know that for a fact.
I do too. That's how I got the name.
Do not dance unless I've got a couple drinks in me.
So my next question, if you want to peel off of that one, if money and time off work, let me say that, if money and time off work was not a factor, where would you want to go on a vacation with? And let's start off. I'm going to ask you this: where would you want to go with your wife? If money wasn't an option and time off work wasn't an option, you could take a month off work if you wanted. It wouldn't matter. Is there any place in particular you'd like to take your wife and just go out and hang out for a month or a couple weeks or so?
Oh my gosh, I don't.
Like, are you guys cruise kind of people? Do you
Well,
guys
see-
like to fly and go somewhere?
I'm terrified of flying. We've been on one cruise, but we had to fly, and I sucked it up. I mean, I'm telling you right now, we were on the plane and getting ready to take off. I stood up and I looked at them. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, get me the fuck off this thing.
Jesus.
But it was already too late. I had to bear through it, but it wasn't terrible. But will I do it again? Probably not. But the cruise, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
We went to all the different, like, St. Thomas, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, all that kind of stuff. And then we went to, like, Barbados. That would be the one place. If I didn't have to worry about anything, that's where I would go.
Yeah.
You would stand in water up to your chest and look down and can see your toenails on your toes.
Isn't that cool?
And
The
it
water
was
is
the
that
ocean.
clear?
Water was that clear. We went we went snorkeling out there. And they took us out on a boat. We're out there, I don't know, 200. We weren't out very far. But you put your goggles on, you jumped in the water, and you could look down, and there was a sunken ship down there, or a boat or something. I don't know if they did it on purpose or whatever, but it looked like you could swim down and touch the top of it.
No shit.
But somebody asked one of the instructors, like, how far down is that? And he's like, well, it's about 70 foot down. I'm like,
Damn.
are you kidding me?
Right.
I was like, it looks like it's 10 foot down.
Right. That's
But
crazy.
It was absolutely amazing. Seeing a whole bunch of turtles and stuff like that. I just hope everybody can experience something like that because it was so much fun.
Really.
And the cruise on top of that was so much
So you
fun.
saying if you and Bailey were to go, would you think you'd want to go on another cruise, or would you like to do something different?
My absolute dream place to go, and I don't know why people call me crazy for doing this, but is Alaska.
Really.
I've always wanted to go to
Kristen's your person.
Alaska.
She's been.
Really.
Went and seen the moose and shit fucking crossing the road and shit.
I don't know.
King crab legs, she gets them down there.
Oh my gosh.
up
I
here.
would just love to go there once.
Kristen's the
Just
one to talk
once.
to.
I don't care if I go
She
there
had an
again.
amazing time. She wanted me to go with her too, and I was like, we can try, like if we can plan it out or something. But
Right.
obviously, it's going to be something in the years to come, future. But
The only bad thing about it is you got to fly. You have to
it's
fly.
not that bad. I love flying.
How many times have you
Love-
flown?
I was born in Sarasota, Florida, so figure that one out.
Okay, well,
So let's see, up and back a couple times with family. I dated a girl that moved to Florida, so I flew up and back a couple times, seeing her over the years. Flown. You want to talk about sketchy? My grandfather and I flew from Beckley, West Virginia to Charlotte, North Carolina, in a plane big enough to fit 12 people in.
You
we
were
were-
flying to Charlotte?
We were flying to Charlotte in that small of a plane that you fucking packed shoulder to shoulder in and fucking
Was
squeezed.
it like 2 seats on each side or whatever?
2 seats on one side and one on the other.
Oh my god.
It was tight. This place through Beckley, West Virginia that we flew out of, there was a TSA thing that you got to go through, which you know how that shit is.
Oh yeah.
And TSA is sketchy. Like, these people are fucking serious and they do their job bucking
They
to the teeth.
take their job serious.
Let me tell you something.
Which they have to.
I went through that metal detector with steel-toed boots on, a necklace, and a ring on my finger. And that metal detector didn't go off. Whether they didn't turn it on or something fucking happened, I should not have been able to clear this fucking metal
How in
detector.
the fuck?
I told the lady after I went through the metal detector, I was like, fuck, I left my steel-toed boots on. She goes, hey, the metal detector didn't go off.
Yeah, you could have had 10 guns on you. That's absolutely insane. I
Walked
did not
right
know
through
that.
TSA and didn't have a fucking problem at all.
That's
My
crazy.
carry-on was my duffel bag that I took with me, floated on the plane. Turbulence was awful on that fucking flight because, I mean, it's such a small plane, but
Well, and also Charlotte is
huge fucking
yes,
airport.
and the weather down there is so unpredictable
Mm.
because we were supposed to fly in, to Charlotte, and the weather was so bad, everything was laid over. We were stuck in the airport for like 14 hours.
No shit. I
14
hate layovers
hours.
like that.
So we missed the flight. We were supposed to fly into Puerto Rico, so we missed that. And thank God we got our passport, because if we did not get our passports, we had to fly into St. Thomas.
Yeah.
I think. So we had to actually fly into
Somebody
there.
said when you go on cruises, you don't need your passport no
You
matter where
definitely-
you go.
Well, you definitely do. But all that stuff was like, all that's part of the United States, I guess. But
Well, that's what I can't remember who I was talking to, but somebody said technically the cruise doesn't count as you being in other places
Right.
as long as you don't leave wherever the fuck.
right. But we had to
But somebody
fly
said you-
into the island.
Right.
So
But somebody told me, like, oh, you don't have to get a passport to go. But like you said, if something bad happens and you have to then
just like that, yes.
work around that, if you don't have a passport, you're fucked.
Yeah, because we weren't gonna get our passports, but Bailey was like, "We better get them just in case,
Yeah.
because you just never know."
Yeah.
And dude, this landing strip on that island, even the pilot got over the intercom and he's like, "I don't want any of you guys freaking out. We're landing on land, but it's gonna look like we're landing on water." I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Don't do this to me."
Right.
And
Especially you not being comfortable.
right, exactly. And this is my first flight ever.
Oh,
And I had to look out the window. I just had to
Yeah.
see what was going on, because if I was going to die, I wanted to see. And we're sitting here, we're descending and going down and down, and I'm like, where the fuck's the land? And it was nothing but water.
yeah.
And I'm telling you, right when the wheels touch you, seen the land. I was like, holy shit. Absolutely insane.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you and get off on a tangent, but you said you and Bailey, you'd want to go to Alaska with Bailey.
I would love to.
That'd be cool as fuck. If Kristen and I were to take a trip, I'd want to go on a cruise to Jamaica, and I know that's super fucking easy to do. People do it all the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I've never looked into it. I've never thought about doing it, and I've never saved up the money to go do it.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
I would always love I love the white sandy beaches anyways, but like going to Jamaica and being around the culture and trying the different foods and staying on the fucking resort or whatever the fuck or wherever they go or whatever.
I
That
think
would be my big thing.
That's one thing I love doing. I love going and like trying different foods
Yeah.
like, that we don't have here,
Right.
and stuff like that. So
If I was to take a trip with the boys, we're
We're-
going to Mardi Gras.
is that what you were going to pick?
And what I was about to say St. Louis. That's not right.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. That's
There you
where.
go.
Yeah, I want to go to see Mardi Gras one time.
You want to
before
get
I
some
die.
beads?
I want to get some beads. I'm gonna hand out some beads, but
I never thought about that.
it'd be cool as fuck.
I never thought about.
I've
Mardi
heard
Gras.
it's fucking trashy. I've heard you can't
Oh.
fucking walk the streets in Mardi Gras.
No.
I'd want a fucking balcony room or whatever that we just fucking hang out.
just
and get
chill out on.
annihilated at.
So my grandma went. My uncle lived in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And my grandma went down there, and he took her over there or whatever, and she said it's the nastiest fucking place.
I've
she's
heard
ever
it. It's
been.
nasty.
She
there.
said it was very nasty.
The smells are fucking awful.
Oh, it was. She said it was terrible. She said she'll never go back.
Really.
She just went once to experience it, and that was
That'd
it.
be cool to do. I think would just be an
think it would be.
experience one
I think-
time.
We probably wouldn't remember anything.
Probably not.
But-
It'd be cool as fuck to just go and get drunk and hang out and have especially in a party city like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think if I were to go on vacation with just like friends and guys and stuff like that, I think Nashville would be the place.
That
to
was
go.
my second thing. Would be Nashville, Tennessee.
I
Go
think
hang out
that'd
with
be my
some
number
bars and
one
stuff.
spot. I think that'd be so much fun because me and her went to Nashville before.
Yeah.
But it was during COVID, so you got on the main strip and there was 10 people walking.
Yeah.
So we never really got the experience.
So let me just ask this: have you guys ever rented an Airbnb before, you and her? I mean, have you ever rented an Airbnb before?
I don't know if we've ever rented an Airbnb.
I'm telling you what, dude. Let me fucking tell you.
I don't know if the place.
If you get the chance to, anytime, instead of booking a hotel, look at Airbnbs first.
Okay, so like when we go to Garden City a lot in South Carolina,
Yeah.
and we rented. I think that is an Airbnb actually.
Just somebody's
It's
house.
not. It's not a
pretty much,
hotel, but there's like 6 other rooms there.
So that's what when me and Kristen went on our we called it a couples vacation, but that's really what it was. It was an Airbnb. They rent out it's massive fucking house,
Yeah.
but they rent out 6 or 7 different bedrooms.
Okay.
And you have your own bedroom. There's a common eating area and whatever.
Like you all eat. That's right. Yeah, you all eat
Yeah.
at that common. So this place, it's like a hotel room. It's own kitchen.
Yeah.
It's got bedroom, bathrooms, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But it's not a hotel or a motel. I don't know what.
Right.
I'd have to ask her what that is.
Airbnbs are the way to go. I swear by Airbnbs anymore. Because, I mean, hotels, you're right next to somebody's room, and it's always fucking... Don't get me wrong. We stayed in a hotel when we went to Cleveland. It was a good time. But if it's just you and your friends or you and your girlfriend or whatever, you and your wife with you, Airbnbs are damn near the same price you would pay for a hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And it's your own fucking space. You
Yes.
know, you do your own thing. Kristen and I talked about possibly going to Tennessee this year, and I don't think it's going to work out because we're going to make a trip to Haunted Horror Nights and go down to Florida for what the fuck did she call it? God damn it. Well, Haunted Horror Nights is in Florida, but it's Universal Studios.
Oh,
That's what it
okay.
is.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
So we're going to go, she wants to go to Georgia and see where her favorite show is filmed again. She goes every year and does that.
I forget her favorite show.
Me and B's, Vampire Diaries is another one of the spinoffs. Supernatural.
Yeah, that does.
So she goes and sees where Supernatural was filmed. They did that last year. Bees and I are going to go on the trip with them. We're going to go to the bars and get fucked up. We're going to go get fucked up in Georgia while they're seeing the actual film sites. And then we're going to go down to Florida to Universal Studios and do the Haunted Horror
Haunted
Nights.
thing. That'd be cool as hell.
I am not a scary person. I do not like scary movies.
I know you don't.
Kristen
How are you going to do that?
She showed me this YouTube video of the houses that they had in previous years, and you walk through and people jump out and scare you. And she's like, I think you'll have a good time. It'll be fun. You'll be around us, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, well, if I'm going, I got to go, I guess. They're not going to let me not go.
You have to go.
So I'm going to fucking grow a pair of balls, I suppose, and go out. Take a quick intermission. I'm going to go ahead and fill up my drink, and we'll be back shortly. All right, guys, I hate to do this to you, but we are going to make this episode a two-parter because we just recorded for 3 hours. We have 3 hours of content that I had to go through and upload and figure out what I'm going to do with it. So we break this into 2 separate parts. That way you guys are going to have an episode for this week, and you guys are going to have an episode for next week while I'm a little bit busy. We are going on a memorial ride this weekend for a fallen brother of ours at the motorcycle club. I'm going to take that weekend off and really just enjoy some time with Kristen, enjoy the guys' time at the motorcycle club, and just have a good weekend. So that's what we're going to do the following weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this as part 1. Part 2 will be out next week, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of this episode. Stay tuned next week. We have a really good time. We continue on the great storytelling, and some more questions are asked, and just a great time with me and Jonathan. So stay tuned, and until next time, guys, hang in there just a little bit longer because you'll hear the rest of it next week. But until next time, stay wobbled. Thanks, guys.